Hello, everyone. Um, you're welcome to this talk. I'm going to be talking about how to land a data analytics role with no experience, with zero experience. So a lot of people have been asking me every day. They'll tell me, "Oh, I have no experience and I'm trying to get a data analytics job. Is that possible?" And then some have been applying, and even when they try to apply for entry level jobs, they keep being asked for experience. So today I'm just going to be talking about how you can land a data analytics job, a data analytics role with zero experience, absolutely no experience. All right. So before we begin, I'll just like to ask, just type in this comment section what stage you are in your job search, in your data analytics job search. So, are you currently looking for a job? Have you even started to learn data analytics yet? Have you done any project? Have you done anything? Right, just write it in the type it in the comment section, and I would like to know. And I'd like to know. So, what stage of your job search are you in? Let's start from there. Okay, so regardless of which stage you are in your job search, especially for people who have started to make applications, one thing that they'll keep on noticing is that for entry level jobs, you'd still get people asking you if you have any experience, right? And I just put in this slide here because I find it to be a bit funny that you need absolutely no experience to get a dog, right? You need no experience to have a baby or to own a firearm in certain countries, right? Or to get drafted into the military. But once they talk about an entry level jobs that should require zero experience, you would see people asking for years and years of experience, right? So, what should you do? Or even when you see a job that requires experience, let's say it's not an entry level role and it requires experience, what should you do? That's what I'm going to be talking about in today's session. So where do I come in? What gives me the right to advise you? First of all, humbly, I'm a data consultant, so I've worked with like a range of companies, and I have also hired people. So I have um, passed through the recruitment process myself several times, and I have taken people through the recruitment process also. And it hasn't always been that way. So I haven't always been good, or I haven't always had like a lot of offers. It started first from applying. I've faced like countless rejections time and time again after learning, and I had to spend some time to understand the secrets of hiring or recruiting. Right, I needed to understand why it was that I wasn't getting these roles that I wanted, and I spent time studying. I spent time with every single application that I made. It was an opportunity to learn, and this is something I'm going to talk about later. The fact that sometimes you would win some and sometimes you would learn from them, right? And I went from that to getting offers, right? Getting offers with different companies to work, um, and consulting and conducting interviews myself. So I think with that, I should be able to give a reasonable amount of advice when it comes to this, right? And I just dropped here a screenshot of some unfortunate leads that I have gotten in my application process. Unfortunately, and if you even see, there are like so many of them in one single day. I could get like three, four, five, six rejections, right? So all of these rejections, I didn't see them as failures. I saw them as opportunities where I could learn, right, and understand why I wasn't picked. And it was the sum total of all the lessons that I have been able to get jobs, and I'm going to be teaching you today. The first thing that I found out was that job search is marketing. Job search is indeed and in fact marketing, nothing less, nothing more. And just the way a marketer will get to convince you to make use of their good or their service, it's in the same way that your job search process is supposed to try and get these recruiters to understand that you have you have a service, and you're trying to meet their need. But for us to really understand job search as marketing, we need to understand what marketing is not. And for a lot of people, they think marketing is trying to convince people to use something they don't need, right? And so you see these people end up telling lies about products. You see these people end up deceiving you. And that's why a lot of people have this bad vibe about marketing. When you tell someone, oh, you should be a marketer, it sounds like an insult, because they are used to having marketers lie to them. They are used to having marketers paint things as things that they are not, right? So that's not what marketing is. What marketing truly is uncovering value. It's that you have value, and then you uncover it for your recruiters, you uncover it for your potential employees to see, right? Marketing that truly works, marketing that is truly built on integrity, is that you have something of value. First of all, you have something of value, right? So you have to have something of value first, right? And then you uncover this value, and you make it known for people. So you make it known for people to see that, oh, I have this value, I have this skill, I have this knowledge, I have this experience, I have this leverage, and I'm willing to use this to add value to your own company. So that entirely is what marketing is, right? And so if you see job search as marketing, it puts you in a better advantage to know that it's just about value and uncovering this value, right? So the best type of marketing is the type of marketing that you do that doesn't look like marketing. The type of marketing where you don't have to convince. If you see that you are trying so hard to convince the person, then no, that's not marketing, right? If you see that you are trying so hard to let the person know what you have to do, then that's something wrong there, right? That's not marketing. And if you have probably met someone who have claimed to be a marketer that have tried to convince you to get something that you don't need, then you would see how horrible that form of marketing is. You don't want to be that person, really. You don't want to be that person, right? So let's start with value. Because as I have said, marketing starts with value, and then uncovering this value for someone to see, for a potential employee or for a potential recruiter to see. So let's start with value. What exactly is value, right? The first thing that you should understand is that value is defined by your customer and not you. In the marketplace, value is determined by your customer and not you. Right? So there might be so many things that you yourself might view as being valuable, but your recruiter or the person who is employing you might not see it as value. Right? So when you place too much emphasis on skills that you have, and these skills do not in any way meet the needs of a customer or a potential employee in this case, then you are not really offering value. Right? You're not really offering value. So this is where value starts. Understanding the needs of your customer and meeting those needs. Having a product or having a service that meet those needs exactly. And you would see that I will talk about this subsequently. I'll keep on talking about value, because it's all about value in the marketplace. So, just to reiterate what I was talking about, if you have worked for several days and you're in a desert, right? And you are very thirsty, you know that any moment from then you could die if you do not get hydration. And then someone offers you, oh, we'll either give you a bottle of water or we would give you a treasure, right? Although to someone in a city who has so much water, a treasure or gold and all of that is very valuable. To you whose life depends on water, water is what is most valuable. Water is what is most valuable. So value comes first. Value comes first. You cannot suggest to your employer what is valuable to your employer, right? You can't suggest to them what is valuable to them. They know what is valuable to them, right? And personalization is where is where this comes in, right? Personalization is that to really offer value, your value has to be personalized. It has to be sewn particularly for your prospective employee. And personalization just means is a key in which you are able to cut through the noise and make meaningful connection with your prospective employers. So what is going to connect you to the employer is the fact that you understand them. You're able to give them a personal experience, right? That's what personalization is. And just to explain it, just imagine you're trying to buy something, let's say a shoe, right? And it's a particular type of shoe, a particular style of shoe, right? But you are seeing others, right? There's a form of frustration that comes with that because, oh, you want this particular model of Nike, and then everyone is offering you, okay, a certain brand of Adidas or a certain brand of something else. They are not meeting your need. They are not being personal with you. They are just giving to you what they give to everyone else, right? And this can get recruiters and employers frustrating. They need someone who will be personal with them. They need someone who would want to understand their needs, right? And meet their needs. A personal approach, a personal perspective to marketing makes a lot more impact, connects with the prospective employees or employers far more than just having to create something very generic and send to everybody, right? So, what leverage do you have? For a lot of people, they would say, oh, I do not have experience, so how do I offer any value as a data analyst, right? You have so many things that you can leverage on. You have so many things that you can leverage on. Regardless of whether a job ad says you need 2 years of experience or 3 years of experience or 5 years of experience, by the time you ask deeply, right, why do they need those years of experience? It's because they need someone at a certain skill level, right, that is achievable by those years of experience. So if you are able to show that you have that skill level or a skill level close to that, and you're able to show them that there are other things that they need that you can meet, the other needs that they have that you can meet, then they're more likely to consider you, right? So your experience, regardless of whichsoever experience that you had, what be it a job experience in the past, let's say something totally unrelated, right? It's still needful in some way because there are some skills that you might have learned from that job that will be helpful in getting you this job, right? Or it could be that you have handled a social media page before. That is quite some knowledge because you would have used a skill or two that is somehow related to data, right? So whatsoever experience it is that you have, customer care, service, anything at all, it counts, right? It counts, but you must make sure that somehow there is a link between that and what it is that they need, right? So it starts with your experience. You might say you don't have experience, but yeah, you do have experience. And if you feel like you don't have at all, then there are certain ways you can get experience, like volunteering, right? There are so many companies, churches, organizations that need someone to volunteer to, let's say, handle their data, for instance, help them get few insights, right? Do basic stuff for them, Excel, visualizations, right? You can volunteer to do these things. And when you volunteer, you get this experience. You can volunteer, you also can get an internship, right? You do not need to have a full blown job to start with, right? If you get an internship and you are able to work, it's experience and it's something you can leverage on. Right. Apart from experience, domain knowledge is something that is very important, and this is especially for transitioners. Right, a lot of people who have worked in different other industries, legal, be it manufacturing, health, right? They think that they would come into analytics and start from scratch. No, you can leverage your domain knowledge. So, for instance, as someone who, let's say you've worked in public health before, right? A place like NHS is more likely to employ you, right? Who already has the domain knowledge of the health sector than someone else who doesn't, right? So that's something that you can definitely leverage, right? If you've taught before, if you're a teacher, for instance, right? Your there is you have knowledge on how to make people understand things than general. So these are some of the things that you can use regards to your domain, right? If you worked before as a digital marketer, right, you would have some knowledge of digital marketing that is helpful for digital marketing analytics. And for every industry is the same way. If you've worked as a farmer, if you worked in agriculture, right, getting a data analytics role in an agricultural company will be easier for you, right? So these are things that you can leverage upon. You do not need to start from scratch. These are leverages that you have. And when you're able to let a company know that, okay, you're looking for a health data analyst, I have experience with health and I have the knowledge of analytics, and I can improve, I can get the experience, the analytics experience in your company, right? They'll definitely bring you on board because you have the domain knowledge, right? So domain knowledge is important. And then your own personal experience, as much as possible, whether or not you have opportunity to get these internships or these volunteer opportunities, you can on your own build projects, you can create dashboards, you can get data sets online. For instance, Kaggle, Kaggle is a very good site where people get a lot of data they can play with, build stuff, right? Build stuff. When you build stuff, these are things that you can be able to tell your employer about, right? And your technical skills, definitely stuff that you can leverage on both your technical skills and your soft skills. You can leverage them, right? If you're a great conversationalist, right, you can get interview offers, you can get jobs based on that. That this person, if you're able to bring people together to work, right, if you're able to work well in teams, you're able to lead teams, you're able to manage, these things can help you actually get, these skills can actually help you get analytics roles, right? But you should be able to leverage them. You should be able to leverage them. And your education, for some people, they might have studied a data course or the other, or something close, or something closely related, like mathematics or engineering or um, computing. Regardless of whatsoever it is, you can leverage it. You can leverage it. And then certifications is another thing that you can leverage. You can go online, do certification courses, get the knowledge, and show that you have these to your employees or your potential employers, and they can be a good leverage for you. Next thing I would like to talk about is your portfolio and your skill set. So I talked about the fact that you can leverage on those things, right? But um, you need to have a portfolio to show that you have those skills. You need to have a portfolio, and your portfolio, you should do a couple of projects. I would advise 2 3 projects, right? Very good projects, right? One of the projects should be able to show that you have a wide span of expertise. So there are different technologies, different skills that are required, right, to be a data analyst, a data analyst, right? You should be able to show that you have these skills with at least one of the projects. So you could use SQL on that project, you could use Power BI on that project, you could use Excel on that project, you could do statistical stuff on that project, mean, median, mode, those very basic things. You could have a project that cuts across different aspects of data analytics, right? So that's the first project that everyone needs to have in their portfolio. The second project everyone needs to have in their portfolio is one that goes deep and shows deep expertise in at least one thing, right? So it could be one particular technology that you have an insane amount of knowledge in, right? For instance, someone might decide to do a very, very good dashboard that shows their skills in Power BI. That's going to be great, right? Or you might decide to do something very niche, like something that has to do with, let's say, marketing data, and you really go deep into it to do a very good market analysis, right? These are the things that would show that you don't only have a wide range of skills, but you also have some amount of depth. And it's people who have this T-shaped skill set that companies look for. So if you only have so many small chunks of knowledge, right, which is the wide part of the T, then you might get some attention, but people won't really take you as seriously as if you have a lot of depth. And if you have so much depth in one area, but then you don't have at least little knowledge of other areas of analytics, then you might not be very helpful to teams. Okay, so you need to have a portfolio, and you need to have a portfolio that shows that you have wide skill set and deep skill sets. All right, so after you have been able to build these skills, you've been able to have your portfolio, and then you've been able to put out your portfolio, then what now happens next is that you now uncover this value, right? You are now a person of value. You now know the needs of your employers. Then you uncover the value by letting them see what it is that you have. And how do you do this? When I talk about uncovering value, one thing that comes to my mind is, in marketing, is this thing we call a funnel or an IDA funnel, right? Just imagine a funnel. The top part is awareness. You should be able to create a lot of awareness, right? Then interest, then desire, and then action, right? And there is something that is also very important, which is that you have to understand that the more people you have at the awareness stage, the more people it is that are going to take action with you or on you, right? On your application, right? So if you are applying to just 10 people, it means just 10 people would know about you. And if you've ever heard about a certain concept which we call the law of averages, what it just means is that the more you put in, the more you get out of it, right? So it means that if you apply to 100 people, and let's say you get 20 people who are interested, right? When you apply to, let's say, 1,000 people, you would probably get around 200 people who are interested. So life would usually work in averages, right? So that kind of person, you would say that 2 out of 10 people are showing interest, right? So let's start from this first stage, which is the awareness stage. You need to be able to show as many recruiters as possible and potential employers that you are a person of value. So you need to have your LinkedIn created, right? And you need to have a good CV created. And then you push it out. You make your applications every day. You push it out. Put it on job boards. Put it on LinkedIn. Put everywhere and let people know about you. When you have, let's say, LinkedIn profile, right? If you're on LinkedIn, take time to do posts from time to time, right? Let people know that you're open for employment. So that's the first stage. Just apply, and keep applying. Keep sending your CVs to recruiters. But let's say you are sending your CV to recruiters and you are not getting anyone who is interested, which is the next stage, right? Say you're not getting anyone who is interested, right? Then what exactly is the problem? If you are getting a lot of people aware, but you're not getting anyone interested, it means that you are not showing them that you can meet their need, which is where value comes in, right? One of the mistakes I made when I started applying for jobs was that I would put in every single experience that I had. I had worked as a researcher. I would add that in my CV. I had worked as different things, and I would put in my CV, right? Even though these things had nothing to do with what I was applying for, I will just put them in my CV. And so someone who picks up the CV and is looking for a data analyst and sees so much research experience will be like, okay, this person will be better suited for a research job, right? Or I put in my experience of working in the petroleum industry. When someone picks up the CV, it's like, okay, this person is probably more suited for a petroleum engineering job, right? But when you're able to put those places you work and the points that you're talking about are the things that you did that are concerned to data analytics and are concerned to what you can do for the company, then you are in a better position to generate interest in them, right? So generating interest means that you have to show them that you can scratch where it itches them. That is what will give someone interest in your CV, right? That's what will give people interest in your CV. Another thing that might give people interest in your CV is that, okay, they see the kind of places that you've worked in and the kind of experience that you have. But generally, the experience that you must tell them that you have should be linked towards either what they need for their role or what they value as a company. What they value as a company, right? So generating interest is very important. So if you are making, let's say, 100 applications, right, and all of them stop at the awareness stage, right, and none is going to the interest stage, then you are not scratching where they itch, right? I'll give another example. I had studied in the university and I studied a lot of really complex stuff. When we're talking machine learning, deep learning, really deep stuff I had learned. And to me, okay, this is what my employers are going to need, right? And you would see someone would ask me for a skill as basic as SQL or Excel, and I'll be like, I mean, I don't have knowledge of Excel, but I can create you a deep learning blah blah blah. And oh, they don't need that, right? For another company, they might need deep learning skills, right? If you go and show them your Excel skills or you go and show them your SQL skills, it's not needful to them. So to actually generate interest, the reason why you're not getting calls back from your applications is very simple. It's not scratching. You're not showing them that you can scratch where it itches them, right? So you need to be able to generate that interest. That's the second stage. After generating interest, which is when they've picked your CV and they've gone through it, right? And they've said, okay, let me call this guy and start the interview process with him. This is the stage where you now help them to desire you. Help them to desire you. And you can only help them to desire you by showing that you have what it takes during the interview. So your skills have to be on point. You have to polish, whether it's your SQL skills, you have to polish it. Your Power BI skills, you have to polish it and prepare for interviews, right? So those are the things that would make a company desire you, right? When you have these things in order and you've been able to pass through these stages, so you have been able to create awareness to them that you have the skills, you're able to generate interest, and then the next one, desire. Show them that you have what it takes, right? So prepare beforehand. I can't even sound this enough. There are so many opportunities that I have missed because I overlooked a certain skill and thought that, "Oh, okay, I think I have this covered. I think I have my SQL skills covered." And then I will now enter into an interview where they throw me an SQL question and then it will kick me off guard, right? You don't want to be there. You don't want to be that person. You don't want a tiny, winny little thing to kick you off or to stop you from getting a job which you desire. For myself, I could also give another example where I had gotten an opportunity with a certain company in London, and they were willing to pay me as at that time around £55,000. That would have been really huge for me as at that time, right? Really huge. And when the opportunity came, I passed first stage, second stage, third stage, and then I reached the final stage. They're like, "Oh, okay, you've done extraordinarily well in all your interviews, but this final one, we just want to give you this Python question. Just go solve it." Right? And I went and I tried solving the question. Right? It was live. It was a live coding um, test, and I fumbled it. Right? When I fumbled it, I spent the rest of my day thinking, let me wait and see what the feedback is going to be. When the feedback came, they said, "Oh, I wasn't going to get the job," and that was the reason why I wasn't going to get the job. I felt really sad. But what that made me do was that I now went back to my Python to really learn it such that it's not going to ever fail me in any interview again. Same thing with my SQL skills. Really learn it so that it doesn't fail me in any interview again. Right? So that's the third stage. If you've passed awareness and interest and you're not able to show them that you know your stuff, then you won't pass your desire stage. And I need you to understand that in these interview stages, it's not just about your technical skills, it's also about your skills to handle things that you do not know. So they might throw you with a question that could throw you off guard, right? But they want to know how you would handle it, right? Would you be able to ask further questions like, "Oh, can you rephrase your question?" Will you be able to tell them that, "Oh, I haven't heard of that before, but it's something I'm going to check"? These are some of the things that people look out for. How do you handle stress, right? So that's the desire stage. You should be able to pass that stage, right? And from that stage, the next stage is having them take action, right? So you've made them aware, you've made them interested, you've made them desire you, right? The next stage is that you should have them take action. And I'll be sincere with you, so many people apply for these jobs, and so many people sometimes reach the final stages where they would need just few people. Let's say they need one person out of 10 people that reach the final stage, right? Or 2 people out of 10, right? What is going to help them take action for you is your ability to maintain your relationship and prompt them from time to time to take action, right? So you have finished a certain interview process, you've even reached the final stage, right? And you're not hearing from them. Prompt them, let them know, "Hi, I just want to check up on you and to know about my application." Let them know that you really want to work for them, right? And that's the last stage, action. You have to take action. You have to take action, because if you don't, another person will take action and they will choose the person over you, right? So that's the last stage. As I said, first you create awareness, right? Secondly, you make them interested, then you make them desire you, and then you make them take action. And the more number of people you create this awareness with, the more it is the number that eventually take the action of giving you a job, right? So I think I'm going to stop there for now and ask if anyone has any question. You could just write in the comment section, and I'll be able to answer. Thank you. Does anyone have any questions? If no one has questions, then that will be the end of this stream. Alright, since there are no questions, I'll assume there are no questions, and I would say that the comment section is always open. You could just go in there, drop your question, and during the week I'll be able to see it and I'll be able to answer. That's the first part. Secondly, if you think that this video would help someone, then please share with the person. Someone, Nina Samuel, says he has a question. Samuel, can you please ask your question? Can you please write your question in the comment section? I'll wait for a bit. If you think this video will help anyone, please send the video to the person. I think I should add that when I was applying for jobs, I applied, I lost count, but maybe it would be up to 1,000 applications, probably, because I was applying to 50 jobs every single day, minimum of 50 jobs every single day. I would have time for it, like an hour, 2 hours, and all I would do within that space of time is applying. I would use Easy Apply on LinkedIn, and also use CV Library, and I'll apply just to create awareness, and I get calls back as intro. Alright, so I think that is going to be the end of this session, and if anyone has any question, please drop it in the comment section and I'll be able to answer it. Have a great weekend and ciao, bye. Oh. Alright, so I have a question saying that how can we know that our CV is up to what an employer is looking for? Usually an employer will have a job description. When you see the job description, you would know if your CV meets or is at par with what the employer is looking for. Sometimes you would be able to meet 50% of it. Sometimes you'll be able to meet 70% of it, right? Just try as much as possible to make up for the other percentage. You don't need to lie, right? Try and point out how skills or knowledge that you have can meet up with the other parts that they're asking for. But overall, the job description is good enough to help you understand what an employer is looking for. And don't go about applying for every single data job or data analytics job, because it will get you frustrated. You would see skills that you need that you don't have, right? In one job, and another job would ask you for a totally different set of skills that you do not have, and you really can't learn everything. So what I usually advise people is to at least first of all be grounded in SQL, which is structured query language. That is the language of every data person, be you a data scientist or an analyst or an engineer. You must at some point in time write SQL code. So make sure you learn SQL, right? And then at least learn one visualization tool. I'd advise Power BI because a lot of people make use of Power BI, right? So use Power BI. If possible, get a certification in Power BI, do projects in Power BI, right? And then at least know how to use at least one scripting language like Python, right? So do projects using Python, learn how to use Python, solve questions. There are a lot of questions and answers online that would help build your skills in Python. You could use that, and that would help. So for me, I think people focusing on those three skills: SQL, Python, um, a visualization tool like Power BI or Tableau, right? And then maybe fair enough Excel skills. Just having those and focusing on them could get you something very meaningful from companies, right? Someone is saying, hope there will be. Victor is saying, thanks. Hope there will be subsequent sessions. Yes, there will definitely be subsequent sessions, right? And every part of this funnel, I'm going to break them down and have further sessions about them. So the first stage, which is how to apply, places where you can apply, I'm going to treat the awareness stage on its own. The second stage, which is interest, I would treat how you can build interest, so how you can show that you have those skills. I'd go into it in depth, right? Then the next stage, which is desire, how to pass your interviews and create a great impression. I'm going to take that stage also. And then how to maintain relationships with the people who you're applying to, right? That's actually a very good part of it that I'm going to be treating. So I'll go through them step by step, and it's going to be awesome. Thank you. And now I'm going to stop this.